Hello friends, welcome to my channel Sushant Chesswise. Today we are at the next topic, that is we are going to look at a game here. It is game about sacrifice for an outpost. So far we have seen some cases of outpost, what is an outpost, and today we are going to discuss a game where we see white sacrifices some material to get control of the outpost. Let's get started quickly. E4, C5, it's a Sicilian Dragon game and I will go through the opening moves quickly. F3, D6, D4, C takes D4, Knight takes D4, Knight F6, Knight C3, G6. The starting point of dragon variation, it is said that because of this structure which looks like a tail of a dragon, it is called the dragon variation. If you want to know more about this dragon variation and what are the ways for white to play, you can check out my lessons on opening for white. I will put it in the description below. So white goes with the move B3. One of the main standard ideas, white wants to play Queen D2, F3, Bishop H6, trade this bishop and make black's king side weak. Once the bishop on G7 disappears, the H6 square becomes entry point for the white queen. This is one of the main ideas in this line, which is called the Yugoslav attack for white. So black goes Bg7, F3, stopping Ng4 before Qd2. Castle, Queen D2, Knight C6. Firstly, stopping Bh6. If Bh6, then Bishop H6, Queen H6, Knight D4. So white simply develops with castle and protects the knight on D4. He is almost ready to go Bh6. Black has various ways of playing here. He chooses one of the side lines. First he goes Nd4, Bd4. Here the main line is the move Bishop E6, which I have covered in my lesson. You can check it out there. Black goes for the move Queen A5 first, instantly putting pressure on A2. Black's plan is simple. He wants to go B6 and then get F rook to C8 often, and this rook often occupies the B8 square. And black starts some dangerous threats on C3 because bishop and queen are attacking A2. The move Queen A5, which looks very active, is actually slightly mistaken. White has a very strong KB1. Now the move Bishop E6 instantly fails to Nd5. There is a discovered attack on the queen and the pawn on E7 is attacked. So after Qd2, there is Knight E7 check, King H8 and Rook takes D2. There is a long variation after Rook E8, but just do note that white can first take Bf6 and take the E7 Knight to D5. And the rook will be able to recapture on the d5 square. So white wins a pawn out there. So black comes to know that b6 will be met by nd5 when at least a pawn is lost. Goes with the move e5. Now look at the move Queen a5. Either the queen has to move once again, stopping the discovered attack, or black has to go for the move e5, which I think is very bad on several grounds. Beginners like these moves because it immediately attacks the bishop. But such a move is only good for the time being. Temporarily we are attacking the bishop, but there are few permanent damages that black is making. First, the G7 bishop is blocked by his own pawn. Secondly, the square D5 now we see has become a strong square for the knight. Means there are no pawns which can attack the D5 square. So such a square becomes an ideal position for the knight. White goes Bishop E3, bishop moves to E6. Of course, Qd6 is very dangerous. It will be met by Rook f d8. When after Rook d1 we see Knight d1 and a2 will be hanging. Right. Also after Qd6 he can try to go other way around. Bishop a2 check, Knight a2, then Rook f d8. The queen is unable to protect the rook on d1. Means Queen d8 would be forced perhaps, and that is also a bad position for white. White plays a3, an important move protecting the a2 pawn. Rook f d8 not only protects d6, black has some hopes of getting the break d5. White will actually never allow, and we see some nice tactical ideas by white. White first goes with the very odd looking move Knight b5. Idea is very simple. Trade the queens. The knight can from c7 come to d5. If the queens are traded, we see that instantly there is double attack on d6 and a7. Situation has become far worse for black. After black, bishop fa2, nc7 first driving the rook, take knight into e6 and then snatch the pawn by ba7. After queen a4, we have a critical position at hand, and white had seen something before playing the move knight b5. Let us try to investigate what's going on in the position. We might well feel the f1 bishop has not come out yet, so h1 is also struggling. But the four pieces e3, b5, d2 and d1, they are controlling the center nicely. Look at black also. Black's g7 bishop is stuck. d8 rook is not doing much. So black also has actually only three pieces, the queen, bishop and knight. So center control, we can say white has slightly more presence in the center. And here white goes with a fantastic move covering the d5 square. He makes a positional sacrifice with the move c4, threatening permanently to guard the d5 square. That is the first thing. And perhaps he wants to take knight d6 and play c5 and plant the knight on d6. Do note that instant knight d6 is bad because of knight e8, bishop c5, knight takes, bishop f8. It looks like white has the tactical idea qb4, but unfortunately it backfires to the strong rook d6. Bishop's diagonal is temporarily blocked and it wants to now control the b4 square indirectly. If queen a4, then rd1 mates, and after rook takes d6 comes the intermezzo qb4, and after ab bd6 black gains the piece. But strong positional players hardly fall for this kind of traps. Here Boleslavsky is white and he goes with the move c4. Black has to take the pawn, otherwise things are becoming very difficult. So bishop takes c4. White now first nicely gets control of the d5 square. He uses some tempi here, knight c3, queen b3, forcing the queen to move. Bishop takes c4, queen takes c4, and the purpose of the sacrifice on c4 is revealed. There comes the strong move bg5, destroying the knight on f6, and the c3 knight lands on d5. Here the square d5 is both outpost and a strong square, and we see another theme occurring here, that is a knight against a bad bishop. Bad bishop is the one which is blocked by his own center pawns which are on its color. At the cost of pawn, white has bagged several advantages. Black goes queen e6. The point is bishop f6, queen f6, knight d5. He wants to keep the option of h4, h5 under control with the move queen h4. Very nice way it looks like. Now g3 will be met by queen h3. There are several disadvantages of playing this way. The queen will be stuck here, but the white's attack will be taken care of. But as we all know, queen is a very bad blockader. The queen can be easily driven away. This is what happens. White has a very simple plan. He wants to get h4, h5, trade hg, and then either aim to get knight f6 or the queen on the h5 and try to checkmate the black king. The bishop on g7 is a mere spectator, and we see that these rooks are unable to create any attack on the white king. And the queen is also purely a defender now. Queen e2, the queen is heading for an interesting maneuver. Bishop f8, controlling the e7 square, queen f1. Queen comes to f1, controls the h3 square, and now white wants g3, h4. There is no way to stop that plan. Rook c8, g3, queen g5, h4, and black wants queen h6. That is why the move qg5. Point is that after h5, he wants to block the position with g5. Of course, white doesn't want to allow such things. So g4, here we see that it's already a very hard time for black. Black is facing several threats now. One main idea is g5, queen g7, nf6 check, king h8, h5. It will be game over. Imagine the position with g5, queen g7, knight f6 and this h5. Totally, it's like a queen down position. White is about to break hg and rook h7. White can do things as per his own terms. Look at the condition, even h6 will trap the queen. It's such a bad position for black. So fearing this, black plays g5 himself. If h5, then the position at least gets blocked. But there is no respite. H takes g5, queen takes g5, rook h5, queen g6 and g5. So far we have seen another typical characteristic of positional play. Positional play often involves small tactics. Like in a sharp attacking game, we see a long series of tactical moves. But in positional play, it often features short tactics. Like see here, Queen h5 is made by nf6, winning the queen. Means this is typical of positional play. Black goes h6, stopping knight f6 and rook h7. Of course, white saw rook h6. Another small tactic, bishop h6 allows knight e7, winning the queen. Queen takes g5. The rook is hanging. So first gaining tempo again with rook h5. Queen g6. White finds the very simple and elegant queen h1. Multiple threats emerge. There is rook h8 and there is rook g1. Of course, there is no defense. Queen e6, rook h8 check, kg7, qh7. So we can say it was a fantastic play by Boleslavsky. Of course, the opponent helped a bit after the move e5 and after especially the white's move c4. We can say that white made a fantastic positional sacrifice for a pawn and made the most out of it. I hope you will find this lesson useful and instructive. Thanks for your time.